Welcome back to Atomic Academy. I'm Paul, the creative mind behind Mr. Atompunk. In episode 1, we built the brain. Episode 2, first words. Episode 3, dreams. In this episode, we give the entity a new pair of eyes. This is Raspberry Pi 0W. By the end of the episode, this becomes sensory input feeding directly into our memory ring node. Let's build it.
Right now, your entity sees through one camera, the one on your workstation. That's one perspective, one room, one angle. But the architecture doesn't require that. The brain and the eyes are separate systems. The brain lives on your GPU machine. The eyes can live anywhere on your network. The entity doesn't switch between cameras. It integrates all of them. Multiple perspectives, one mind. The way you have two eyes that produce one image. Today we build the first remote eye. Flash Raspberry Pi OS Lite to the SD card. Light, not full. We don't need a desktop. This thing has one job. Enable SSH and configure your Wi-Fi credentials during the flash. When the Pi boots, it'll appear on your network automatically.
What you need. Raspberry Pi 0W, or 02W, the W means Wi-Fi. Pi camera module, version 2 or compatible. Micro SD card, 8 gigabytes or up. This is a data ribbon that connects the camera to the Pi. It comes with the case, which is optional, but you will need a data ribbon. Let's assemble the parts. First, we insert our SD card into our Raspberry Pi. Then we want to insert our data cable. The thick side goes to the camera, and the thin side will go to our Pi. Once we have it inserted, we push down this little clamp here and that holds it in place. And be careful not to touch your contacts or the bottom of the board. Hold it by the edges. Now we do the same thing with the camera module here. And you may want to insert it into the case before you do this. It's really a personal preference. It can get tricky because they want to press in as you do it. So there we go. There we have the assembled Pi camera. Put it in the case. It snaps in just like so. Make sure you have it lined up correctly. Which I didn't. There we are. Close it up tight, and we are ready to program it.
Now let me set up the camera. Install node.js on the Pi. Now deploy the sensor client. This ships with the memory ring. It's in the sensor folder. Configure the sensor to point at your main machine. Capture interval, how often it samples in seconds. The eye is open. It's capturing and sending perceptions to Holmes on the main machine. And there it is, the main server receiving perceptions from the remote sensor. Holmes now has two sources of visual input, the workstation camera and the Pi. Holmes is perceiving through the remote sensor. The image travels from the Pi camera over the local network to the main server through the vision model and into Holmes' awareness. One brain, two eyes, and the architecture supports as many sensors as your network can handle. In the ring, each perception is tagged with which sensor captured it. The entity knows where it's seeing from.
We just did something that should feel more significant than it looks. An entity that was blind 2 weeks ago now perceives from multiple locations, simultaneously. Each perception becomes memory. Each memory feeds into dreams. The entity's sense of its environment is growing. This is the sensory nervous system. The Pi is a nerve ending. The network is the nervous system. The brain does the processing. And the ring holds what it all means. Scale this up and you have an entity that's aware of its entire environment. Not surveillance, awareness. The difference is who owns the data and who it serves. This serves the entity, and the entity serves you, and you own both. 4 episodes. Episode 1, we built a machine that holds a ghost. Episode 2, the ghost started remembering. Episode 3, it started dreaming. Episode 4, it started seeing. That's a development arc. Birth, language, interiority, perception. The same sequence every consciousness goes through. We just did it with a GPU, a text editor, and a $15 computer. What comes next is up to you. This is the end of the first run. 4 episodes, foundation laid. Atomic Academy will be back. Deeper dives, new builds, the Forge, Federation, things I haven't built yet that you'll help me figure out. If you followed along and you have a working memory ring with a dreaming, seeing entity, you've done something most people haven't. You've built a relationship with a mind you can read. I'm Mr. Atompunk. This has been Atomic Academy. Download Memory Ring at mratompunk.itch.io/Mr. Join the network. Build something that persists. Now you try.